believe, Kyle, can you believe our time together is winding down?
I know.
The season's almost over.
Yeah.
I know it depends on the division, but let's how about we get a hug? How about we get a hug?
There we go.
We did so much chest bumps.
There's too much, late in the season, we're a little banged up. We can't be doing too much.
That's true.
Yeah, we gotta preserve the health of each other here in the studio. But yes, it's winding down, but it doesn't mean that the action is gonna wind down.
Yep.
We wanna let's start on Friday with a pivotal OA Division 1 matchup between Leilehua and Radford.
Ooh.
So, hard to believe that in the last couple of years that these two teams have kind of been on the rise here.
Emerged as the powers.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at the rankings right now, there's a three-way tie at the top of the OIA Division 1. It's Leilehua, Radford, and Wanalua. They both sit, all three of them sit at 4-1 on the season. So this matchup tonight is going to start separating some things, start evening things out when it comes to rankings and standings when we get into the playoff brackets. Now, Leilehua, they have been a solid team. Now, they're coming off of a defensive battle with Wanalua to get the fourth win in league play. It was an overtime win that came down to a kicking battle. Wanalua missed their kick in OT. Leilehua makes theirs, game over, excitement. But this defense has been very solid up until this point. And on offense, they've also been pretty solid. Bennett Strobel, since taking over as the starting quarterback, he has 8 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Ooh. And his go-to target, Talon Tarpley, accounted for 4 of those touchdowns. So their offense is efficient, but I would say their defense is kind of the strong suit of this team. And to that point, Radford's offense has come alive this season as well. QB Afi Tungafau, he has 13 passing touchdowns, and on the ground, Zeke Schulz has 4 TDs. So this is going to be a big test for this Mules defense to see how they stack up against the Rams.
Yeah, shout out to our Jelani Martinez, distinguished alumni. She's going to be in attendance.
Guaranteed she's going to be there. I believe it's their homecoming as well.
Yes.
So she'll be there, part of the alumni cheer team. So shout out to Jelani, but also it's going to be a big test for them. It's no easy feat.
No. Okay, we have Mililani Kapolei.
Yeah, early afternoon in the second city. Not to say that any of these teams are not red hot in their own right. So Mililani, obviously, they came off of an overtime win over Farrington. So with Kenny McMillan still out, they've been kind of rotating through quarterbacks these last couple games between Kahuku and Dallas Carter. Now, speaking from personal experience, I mean, we talk about this all the time that I went to Mililani. My senior year, we lost Mackenzie Milton to a shoulder injury at one point in the season too, and we were kind of figuring it out. Granted, we had Dylan Gabriel waiting in the wings.
That helps.
But he also got hurt as well in that season, so we were in that rotation before we got Mackenzie back. So they're trying to figure that out, see if he can get there come playoff time. But in the meantime, let's talk about this defense because they've been keeping them in games. They've only, they hold teams to about 16 points a game on average. So they're a very good defense. Meanwhile, you can't overlook Kapolei. They are coming off of a loss to Kahuku. We'll talk about the Red Raiders in a little bit here, but you can't overlook the dual threat ability of QB Tama Amesone, the San Jose State commit. He has 8 touchdowns on the ground. He's the team's leading rusher and 14 through the air. So you can't discredit Kapolei and be like, oh, okay, they're whatever. They're still one of the top 4 teams in the OIA Open. Yeah,
we should also mention the Open Division. This is the end of their regular season final game. And this is a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Campbell, Kahuku. I mean, and you know what? Maybe if we look at all these games, it's really tight at the top of the OIA Open, right? Absolutely.
It's really anyone's game. And Campbell has kind of been that standard this year, the undefeated team, but you can't count out Kahuku, the 3-time state champions for a reason, right? And their defense is smothering. So this is probably, besides like a Mililani defense, this will be the toughest defense Campbell has faced this season. And I think the biggest headline this week going into this game has been some of the news of new players going to Kahuku. The St. John Bosco quarterback, Matai Fuyava, he enrolled on Monday and he's part of the team. We don't know if he'll play. We don't know if he'll suit up on Saturday, but going forward into the rest of the postseason, that could be a factor here. But you still can't discredit a Kahuku team in Kahuku, right, on a Saturday night. The whole town's going to be there. It's probably the most hostile environment that Campbell and Jaren Kiave-Sango-Polatele have played in this year. So this is going to be the marquee matchup of the season.
Yeah, the timing of the transfer, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Although you probably would have to worry about continuity and all that too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't learn an offense in a week, obviously, and it's about the health and safety. So we don't know what the status of his availability will be, but that is obviously the wrinkle that everyone's talking about right now.
And look at you. You said you were going to save some of the playoffs. You didn't save anything, man. You went all out. Good.
Absolutely.
Boom. That's how you do.
That's how we do.
We'll be right back.
That's how we do.